I've realized most of the time when I play Overwatch, I stick to the same comfort heroes. I've decided I want to experience more of the roster and explore who actually feels the most enjoyable to play. To be honest, I doubt that my favorite heroes will ever change. They're my favorites for a reason, usually because of high mobility, skill expression, or gameplay variety. I'm curious what else I'll enjoy. If I were to queue up right now, which heroes would be the most fun to play? Junkrat is a DPS hero who will be back later.
Pass into the iris.
Zenyatta is a prime example of a hero that I've neglected in the past but really started to appreciate after sinking some time into. In comparison to my main heroes, he's an antonym. He is immobile and consistent instead of flashy and sporadic. Once it clicked, his kit became really satisfying. I was genuinely surprised. Landing fully charged volleys feels insanely rewarding, especially when you start predicting movement and completely deleting someone. He has severely underrated skill expression and is one of the few supports where I feel encouraged to play aggressively, instead of just heal botting in the background. Bonus points for kicking one off the map. I honestly think he deserves A tier. Normally the heroes I gravitate towards are the complete opposite. Pharah, for example, she's never grounded, very mobile. The only thing they share is good damage output and the ability to boot people off the map. She's my main hero from the original roster because I love how versatile she feels. You can play aggressively, reposition constantly, go for stupid flank angles, and she's one of the heroes that naturally creates flashy clips and weird moments, which I love. That kind of freedom is usually exactly what I'm looking for. As for Echo, I do actually like her a lot. She's just a little more floaty compared to Pharah. Her flight feels more temporary and cooldown based instead of a fuel system that I'm actively managing, and because of that, she feels a little more predictable to play against, which often results to relying more on off angles rather than just raw aerial dominance. I truly believe a good Pharah can outposition her hitscan counterpicks, whereas Echo feels more situational. She's definitely really fun, has high potential, some unpredictability, especially with her ultimate. Depending on who you duplicate, it can feel incredible, or feel like you absolutely wasted it. For me, she's an A tier. Continuing the theme of flying heroes, we can talk about Mercy. She's a pinnacle part of Overwatch and a lot of people's favorite hero. As someone who doesn't personally tap into the full support fantasy much, I appreciate how fun she can be, at least when she's not pocketing a boring DPS. Her mobility feels different and chaotic. She frantically bounces around the map like a wasp trapped in a bathroom, except she's attractive, so bonus points. And going for a risky revive is pure adrenaline. My diagnosis for the doctor is B tier. Naturally, after talking about so many flyers, we can talk about Hitscan Heroes. This is the category that switches from this is fun to this feels efficient, and they all kind of blend together for me. They often have one mechanic I do enjoy, but overall their fun feels capped. They just feel like high win percentage and pew pew lots of damage. Soldier 76, the COD hero, is every newcomer's comfort pick, and honestly, the least interesting one here. Simple, reliable, effective. He's the I can only have fun if I win hero. I've got you in my D tier. If Soldier is COD, Emre is Halo. I think he's a lot more fun than the others, honestly. Burst AR, VTOL Warship Ultimate. Jumpy explodey pistol. At least there's some chaos. I wish this hero was the AC-113. I love the voice lines and the bird. Bastion comes close to escaping this category. Grenade jumping is fun, but I hate that some lobbies turn into 2 sentry guns fighting a Reinhardt. It's even worse with the cats. Sierra is still really new, so it's hard to judge her fairly. I do enjoy her anchor drone and how her weapon feels with the projectile drop. I don't know why she has tactical visor on her right clip. While not technically a hit scan, she definitely feels like one. Sojourn at least has her slide, which I actually enjoy a lot. For some reason my brain and her railgun refuse to cooperate, even after changing the mouse button. All of these just peak around B tier. Their fun feels capped by efficiency. Useful, definitely, but usually in a counter pick because I have to away. Except Soldier, who can stay in D tier. Cassidy is a simple, stereotypical hero design. Just a western gunslinger. What's interesting is I actually like pistols in most ever games, but with him it feels a bit too bare bones compared to other options. Over the years he's evolved as a counter-watch pick, shutting down flyers or flankers pretty effectively. If you enjoy flick-based aiming, he's really satisfying. He's just not really my type. C tier. Out of all of the Hitscan Heroes, Ashe's kit is the one that works the most for me. She feels very Borderlands coded, especially Jacob's weaponry.
You weren't using Jacobs.
She is still aim heavy, but there's way more variety in how you can play her. From scoped shots, hipfire, dynamite, even corch gun movement. Bob is iconic, but the ultimate itself is a bit unappealing to me. It doesn't let us, the player, interact much with it. Overall, she feels expressive in a way that other hitscans never really do for me. Ashe is a cowgirl. There aren't many tanks I enjoy in Overwatch, even after trying some new ones. Junker Queen is one of my exceptions. She's basically a DPS covered in tank spray paint. JQ's kit feels really rewarding, surprisingly self-sustaining, and has a very satisfying ultimate, great for making plays, or even for yumping off the map. Queen's in A tier, which is high for a tank. I love her melee animations, and landing her knife feels just as satisfying as Roadhog's hook to me. Hooking people off the map is kind of fun, but I'd rather use other heroes, or even Orisa's ultimate. One of my favorite new kits to try has been Freja. She's one of the heroes where you can actually feel the skill ceiling. Her core gameplay combines mobility with precision, not just aiming, but constantly repositioning and causing chaos. On some maps it feels like you're floating around rooftops chaining angles together. I think what I like most about it is how open-ended she feels. Even when I'm not playing her perfectly, she lets me approach fights creatively instead of forcing one rigid playstyle. She's the epitome of a glass cannon, which I always gravitate towards. I've been loving trying to get better at her. S tier. As for Widowmaker, her loop feels more patient and oppressive rather than free and expressive. It's about holding space rather than moving through it. Freya's freedom feels fun. Widow watches, waits, wins. Skilled widows do impress me, but I don't think she's inherently fun. 6v6 Widowmaker on King's Row is cinema though. C tier. I naturally gravitate towards bows over guns in most games, so it makes sense I've started enjoying Hanzo. Between Freya and Widow, Hanzo sits somewhere in the middle, less about creating angles or holding them, more about reacting inside of them. Hanzo feels instinctive and lurky, a flick-based marksman. With him, one-tapping squishies is very satisfying. I do think that I have a bit of a satisfaction bias towards projectiles. Sadly, he's someone I feel pretty awful at, but I can see myself learning him more. Hanzo's ugly brother Genji is notorious in the Overwatch community, as a Bane hero used by quick play tryhards or smurfs with pocket healers. His kit should suit me. High risk reward, highly mobile, projectiles, flashy plays. My experience trying him didn't resonate. For some reason my screen was always the same color as him, mostly due to him only having one dash that resets on kills. Makes it so much easier to chop suey. Low B tier. The next section of heroes feels like they're intentionally designed to cause frustration, which I didn't really enjoy. Speed ranking. Since we're now in the rat archetype, Tracer is a highly mobile, highly British hero. In the hands of high-skilled players, she's incredible. For me, I much prefer controlling fluid movement rather than rigid blink patterns and cooldown management. Tracy tier. As someone who owns a soul, I'd only play Sombra as a counterpick, designed to tilt people and make fights feel unfair. She go invis, she hack, but most importantly, she boop. C tier. Symmetra and Torbjorn both rat in their own unique way, spamming turrets and bullying choke. I enjoy watching clips of interesting setups, but whenever I try them they feel a little too passive for me. If Chaos is a spectrum, Junkrat and Venture would sit on at both ends. One digs into dirt, probably eats it, then one-shots whoever's on the other side. They have a unique concept and a fun melee animation. Crazy how a mole kit didn't land for me. The other feels like gambling with physics, leaning into traps, explosions, and crazy angles. D tier for deranged gremlin. Reaper and Vendetta prefer to tap into close range abuse instead. The Reaper teleports behind you, spits damage, shifts away. Repetitive gameplay, C tier. Vendetta has style and momentum, but some animation quirks make it feel like you're fighting her kit while she's solo fighting tanks. I love her and her concept, but I wish she got a rework honestly. B for Vendetta. Sage's Ice Hole Oh, Mei's Ice Wall is one of the most fun abilities to use in Overwatch. In my eyes, she definitely still fits the category as a rat hero, but I love that she's a hybrid beam and projectile DPS. She's a comfort pick for me, countering a lot of annoying champions, and right-clicking heads with her feels uniquely satisfying. I think she's so honestly cute too. Pajama and Snowball are both S tier. I've mentioned tanks briefly earlier. Most of them don't really appeal to me. D.Va and Domina are my other two exceptions. When I fill tank, I always look in one of these or Junkrat Queen. D.Va, like all dive tanks, is one of those heroes where good players look like they're playing an entirely different game. They fly in, instantly delete someone, disappear back into the sky while still on full HP. But when I try her specifically, I'm left with my baby D.Va Pew Pew Blaster feeling like I'm a D-winged battle mercy. Love D.Va. I'm so glad Domina released, not because of her bunny skin, because she makes filling tank not inherent suffering. I find her kit both volatile and versatile. She's very immobile, but wall slamming people, clicking her crystal grenade, and her ultimate is peak for instilling panic. And I'm panicking too when it gets eaten by defense matrix. Domina surprises me the way Zenyatta does, and this is my S tier tank. The others feel scary, slow, or strange, like Wrecking Ball. What even is this? Speaking of strange, trying support is when I realize Overwatch stops pretending to be a normal shooter. Harm to some of the most unique designs. Some feel like little gremlins that have healing attached. Fika, for example, is the Yumi of Overwatch, literally carrying allies and permanently flying. This little Khajiit has wings and sharpens her claws. Moira also fits this category. She's like if Singed evolved Chemtech into healing. She sucks people's life force and spits out purple and yellow balls. How pretty. Lucio skates on walls and boops people with the power of Spotify. High skill expression. At my skill level, his kit's best left to arcade parkour maps. There's some that make me feel like I'm missing something. Brigitte, for example, feels like support Reinhardt, but she made her shield in IKEA. She heals by charging in and bonking. Peak environmental warfare hero. Wuyang is so confusing. I know when I play him, he passively heals, bends water, misses everything, dies. It's pretty cool he added a hero with the defeat screen ability. Baptiste feels intentionally simple. He can jump really high. He can keep people alive. He can shoot his gun, sometimes even at people. I do like his wall. Meet Lifeweaver. He loves flowers, trees, and choosing to pull the full health DPS player to safety while the 1 HP tank dies, solos in the game. What are yours today? Mizuki is a hero I should play more. Dashes, chains, aggression-based healing. Samurai Hatman has potential. None of these compared to my comfort supports. The ones that make getting support feel more than just an exasperated sigh. Ana's probably the purest example of skill expression in the support role. Her shots feel clean, sleep darts feel euphoric, and anti-heal grenades feel like a cheat code. She's one of the few slower heroes I proactively want to play as. A tier. Juno has been so uniquely enjoyable to learn how to play. She nyom around the map with her pew pew Wazo rifle. Purple-haired moon girl is a must-try. Feeling fun, fast, floaty, Juno juxtaposes jumping and jubilation. Space tier. Illari is the support I've leaned the most into since returning. The I'll guess I'll do it myself hero. She shares a lot with Senna, which is freeing to have as an option. She has beautiful feeling charge shots, a pylon to heal post-mortem, sprinkles of mobility, and role-playing as the sun itself when you ultimate. Just really crispy feeling gameplay. Sun tier. Kiriko's been my main support since she released. Grinding the battle pass for her is a core Overwatch 2 memory. With her cleanse, teleport, wall climbing, projectile headshots, she's what makes the role feel creative. Like she's designed for people who would normally avoid queuing support. And I love her little fox too. After playing more of the roster, the heroes I enjoy all share similar traits: controlled mobility, mechanical expression, creative positioning, and enough chaos to create cinema, which explains why Anran remains my favorite. She feels like a culmination of all of those elements. Fluid, expressive, and just unhinged enough to constantly create memorable moments. Some of the most enjoyable gaming memories happen when you don't really know what you're doing yet. I highly recommend experimenting with unfamiliar or weaker characters. It lets you focus more on just having fun instead of worrying so much when you lose. Sayonara.